This is Stuart from the Planning Analytics team at IBM. In this video, I'll cover the advanced selector widget that was added in Planning Analytics Workspace 2.0.93. Notice that the book that I'm starting with already has a cube viewer on the book, and we've enabled synchronization on the cube viewer for all of the hierarchies. The advanced selector widget is accessed similar to the other selector widgets. We can click the overflow menu here, go to Add Widget As, and we see the option for advanced selector. By default, when we add the advanced selector widget to a book, we get this widget that looks like two regular selector widgets added together. These two widgets added together are used to build a set of members, which is synchronized with our cube view. So in this case, we're going to get a set of just two members being synchronized. This will take effect as soon as we pick the first member. So let's pick March 2004, and we can see our cube viewer is already updated. And we'll pick April 2004, and we can see it now being updated to show March and April 2004, these two members. So this widget, the advanced selector widget, it's simply building a set, in this case, a simple set of two members, which is synchronized to the other widgets in the book. If we wanted to change the advanced selector widget to show more than two members, we could. We can use up to 4 members here. We can also choose if we want them displayed horizontally or vertically. Make this widget a little bit bigger. So in this case, we can pick up to 4 members. So we can pick, let's say, January, March, May, and July. We'll pick every second month here. And we'll simply see those 4 members being synchronized as a set of members. So this widget is still just building a set of 4 members to the book, to the other widgets within the book. Now, if we wanted an experience where we pick between 2 different members and get a range of the members in between, we can do that as well. So that's the second option to show here. So with the selector widget enabled, we'll set this back to 2 members, and then we'll choose the option for range selector. Now, when we pick one member, let's start by picking February, and then we'll pick another member, say August. We end up seeing the full range of members between February and August being synchronized. So we're simply taking all the leaf members between these 2 members and displaying them on the view. Again, this widget, the new selector widget or advanced selector widget, it's still doing the same thing as before. It's simply building a set of members from the hierarchy to synchronize with the other widgets within the book. By the way, this advanced selector widget, it doesn't have to be presented as a drop-down list. So if you actually want this to be displayed as a list of members as opposed to a drop-down, that's possible as well. In order to do this, we'll set this to horizontal mode. And then we'll change the selector style to a list. So here we can see 2 different lists of members. And now the user can simply pick between the ranges. Let's say if we want the full range, we can do January to December. Or if we want a more focused range, we can do April to, let's say, August here. It's also worth pointing out that these lists of members don't need to be the same list. I can adjust the subset for each one of these kind of individual selector lists. In order to do that, we simply access the set editor from one side of the selector widget. And let's build a set here just with the first 6 months of the year. So we'll select the first 6 months and click replace. And in the other widget, we'll pick the last 6 months of the year. We'll pick July to December. Also replace. So now the user can pick from January to December. But again, notice that they still get the full range of members here. If we want something more specific, we could do something from, let's say, June to July, and then we'll only get the 2 members. If we don't want the user to access the set editor while the book is in non-edit mode, or book is taken out of edit mode, we can disable that as well, just like the regular selector widget. So here we'll disable the option for the overflow menu. Now in this case, you'll notice that we also have a search option. Because we only have a couple members here, the list isn't very long, we may want to disable the search just to cut down on some space so we can make the widget a little bit smaller, save more room on the book for other widgets. And finally, if we wanted to replace the header name or disable the header name, we can do either of those. So if we want to simply disable the header, we can do that. If we want to set unique header names, we can. So we'll say pick first as the first header name. And then we'll say select after as the second. So here we can see the selector titles replacing the default hierarchy name that's displayed up at the top of the widget. So again, this works, the custom set for these widgets, whether or not we're picking one or picking from multiple, whether it's a drop-down list or it's displaying a full list of members. Now, probably the most interesting option with this widget or with this new advanced selector widget is the ability to provide a multiple selection list experience, which is particularly helpful if we want to synchronize selections from a selector widget to the row or column axis of a cube viewer. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to add this is our chart of accounts hierarchy as an advanced selector widget. And in this case, we'll go to the custom options and we'll say we want to see this as a multiple selection list. We'll make this a little bit bigger so we can see all the members in here. Again, because this list isn't very long, we may want to do things like disable the search or change the header name, the title name here. But the way this widget works in the multiple select list widget mode is to allow the user to pick multiple members. So in this case, I'll pick sales, other revenue, direct costs, other costs. And then I can simply click the apply button down at the bottom here. And we see the set of members that are selected within this subset be synchronized to the other widget. Right? Again, if we want to modify the subset that's being displayed here, we can. So let's say we want simply all the leaves, we could do this. Right now, the user can only pick between the leaves. If we wanted to disable access to the set editor from this advanced selector widget, that's entirely possible as well, just by hiding the overflow menu. Now the user can pick between just the leaf members, hit the apply button, and we see the selection of those members being synchronized with the hierarchy that's in the row axis of the cube viewer. So that's a quick overview of the advanced selector widget. As I said, it's really just a mechanism to allow the user of the book to kind of build a set and have that set based on their selections or a range or just picking 2 to 4 different members be synchronized to other widgets in the book. Of course, the synchronization in this sense, it's no different than the set synchronization capability that we already have. So of course, this will work whether or not it's being synchronized to a widget, which is the cube viewer, a visualization, or any of the other widgets within the book that supports synchronization. All right. With that, that's a demo of the advanced selector widget that was added in Planning Analytics Workspace 2.0.93.